Hello everybody, today I'm going to be going over my Shred Lightning Companion Werewolf build that I'm going to be using while leveling. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first off, it uses Shepherd's Aspect, Stormclaw's Aspect. These are the two main things, and then it has other things in there because I wanted to throw lightning in there just for the fun, for the theme, so I put in Overcharged Aspect. And I also have Aspect of the Unsatiated in here. You can get this pretty early, typical stuff: Aspect of Disobedience, Aspect of Mending Stone, and Aspect of Might, all of which you can get in a dungeon. So first thing I want to say is make sure you're leveling a World Tier 1, because I've been doing a test run of this build, currently at level 25, and I don't even have any legendaries yet because I can't actually unlock the Occultist until level 25, and I am absolutely smoking everything. So not necessarily like one-shotting it, kind of smoking it, but like it's not hard at all. I haven't died like at all playing the Druid, right? And everybody says this has a bad leveling experience, so yeah. But anyways, yeah, so it's so level in World Tier 1, that'll probably solve a lot of your issues, and I don't really feel like there's a reason to level in World Tier 2. The bonuses you get just aren't really that great. Okay, so when it comes to the skill tree, I'm going to put a link in the description so you can kind of have a cheat sheet for it, but we're just going Storm Strike, Shred, Earthen Bulwark, then we're going to go Wolves, Poison Creeper, Ravens. The reason why we want to have all these out is because we are going to get extra damage based on the amount of these we have. Now, quick thing I would like to note, I'm actually going to recommend that you do not imprint your weapon, and that you just take Shepherds and you put it on your amulet, and then you can move Retaliation to like Aspect of the Unsatiated if you want. Do something like that, just get rid of Unsatiated. That's something you can do if you do not have an excess of materials, because you have to remember, going into Season 1 we are not going to have a ton of materials, and once you hit level 30 it is going to require materials you can only get from salvaging a legendary item to imprint it. So finding an amulet early on, putting Shepherds on there is probably going to be your best bet, because amulets and rings don't have a massive effect on your damage, whereas you're going to be changing your weapon all the time. So if you put this on your weapon, you're probably going to run out of resources, so I don't really recommend it. I would honestly recommend that you leave your weapon aspectless and just don't imprint anything on it. Just don't even waste the stats, because you're going to want to switch that out a lot. I think from levels 1 to 18 I have switched out the weapon like 10 times already, right? Because you want to make sure you're always using a maxed out weapon in terms of or the highest weapon damage that you have, right? So whereas things like your chest piece, your helm, your pants, etc., that stuff is it doesn't affect your damage, so it's not going to be that big of a deal, because really defense it's not really all that crazy, and having Aspect of Disobedience, Aspect of Might, Aspect of Mending Stone. I think Aspect of Disobedience is the only one that I think is actually going to fall off a little bit. And the reason why I'd say if you don't re-imprint that with higher pants is because it increases your armor by 4%. So if you're not upgrading the rest of your gear, your armor is going to be low, so it's not going to increase your armor by all that much, right? So, but that being said, Aspect of Mending Stone, Aspect of Might do not have that kind of situational issue. So even if you were to never upgrade your chest piece and helm, you're still going to get a pretty good benefit out of those. That being said, you should find enough to be able to at least imprint things a couple times. But that being said, you also are not going to need full legendaries, so keep that in mind when looking at this. You're going to want Shepherd's Aspect, I think you might want Aspect of Retaliation, and then you're going to want Stormclaws. And as long as you can keep those three things on your gear, even if you have nothing else on, you should just be destroying the game, right, up until level 50, obviously, where you're going to transition into your whatever build you're trying to do, right? So, okay. So that being said, so that's going to be the skill tree. I'm just going to let you guys look at the link, because me going through the skill tree doesn't necessarily really help. The main thing you need to know is, we're going Ravens, Poison Creeper, and Wolves, because it buffs us with Shepherds. Poison Creeper's broken, and honestly the companion skills are extremely strong early on. Okay. And if you're also wondering why I don't max out Wolves, because this is more of a Shred focused build as opposed to companions, but we are using the companions as just a damage amp. Okay. I'm trying to think anything else about this. Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hop on over into the tool, and I'm going to give you a route, right, that you can kind of go to. So you're going to start out in Kyovashad. First thing you want to do, run down here, pick up Aspect of the Unsatiated. Then you're going to run, and make sure you do every single event you see along the way. Do not skip events. It's very important you don't skip events because you want to make sure you're at the right level. You're going to do this, then you're going to come all the way up here. You're going to do Caldara Gate. You're going to pick up the Eluding Aspect. And again, as you're running up here, you're going to do every single event that you see. The reason why we're doing events is also so you can get obols. By being able to get obols, it's going to allow you to either fish for rare items from the obol vendor, or it's going to allow you to fish for legendary items from the obol vendor, right? So, for example, while I was doing this from 20, I was able to farm about 400 obols. I found I think it was like 1 or 2 legendaries from the vendor whenever I was just buying gloves, right? Now, obviously, the legendary wasn't great, but you get my point, right? Once you do this for a while and you do this kind of stuff, it's going to stack up, right? So after you do that, now, I don't really care which way you do it. You could do events. You could run down here and do Nostrava. But you should be around, like, I don't know, maybe level like 8 or 9, I think, by the time you finish these 2 things. Now, you just want to do events or whatever, hit level 11. Once you hit level 11, you're going to come over here and you're going to do Malknock. The reason why you want to do Malknock is because then it's going to unlock Annika's Claim. This is where you're going to get your Stormclaw aspect from that you're going to want for the build, right? So after you do this, you're going to be probably somewhere around level 15 to 17, okay? So if you're only level 15, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come up here and you're going to run up here and do Marina's Refuge. This is going to give you your overcharged aspect. So you got to keep in mind that we can't go get Shepherd's aspect until you're level 17, okay? Because this is a level 20 dungeon. So you want to make sure that you're not too far down so you can actually complete the dungeon, right? So after you do that, you should be level 17. So you have 2 options from that point. You can come over here and you can unlock your Spirit Moons, right? Tol Dura, right? Or you can just go ahead, you can teleport to Ked Bardu, run down, I believe it's right here, yeah, run down here to Blood-Soaked Crag and pick up this aspect. Go ahead, try to throw that on your amulet, whatever. If you do not have an amulet, right, and you have all of your, like, kind of like all these main aspects collected, which, by the way, you also want to run over here so you can pick up Aspect of Retaliation. But at this point, you're going to have most of your main ones. And then you also have Aspect of Might right here, so you can see that, you know, there's quite a bit of there's quite a bit of them over here by Ked Bardu. So once you get level 17, you can go run over here and do these if you'd like. The main one that you want to get, though, obviously, is going to be Shepherd's aspect. But yeah, so after you do that, though, what you're going to want to do in order to get the rares, in order to imprint this stuff, is go to right here, Onyx Watchtower. Okay, the Onyx Watchtower is going to be your best place to farm drops, right? So it doesn't give the best experience, but it gives a really good drop rate. So you're just going to run through here, right? And I'll go ahead and I will show you guys kind of what to do. I'll do a quick little Onyx hold run here. This is important just because it's going to be the main way that you find rares. So pretty straightforward overall. You just go through here, you break out the cage beasts, you then kill all of the elites in here. He has a bunch of lieutenants that are around. Just go kill the elites. And as you can see, I'm not really having any trouble killing anything. Keep in mind I have absolutely no legendary aspects on right now. So this is just purely like Poison Creeper and just base stats carrying me. I do, however, have an at-level weapon on. That's the one thing I did make sure that I was always using. So as I was finding a weapon, I just kept upgrading it. So there's that. But yeah, so you kill this stuff, and you can see that each of these have dropped at least a blue. Some of them are going to drop yellows. As you get to a higher level, you're going to get more yellows out of this. So this is a good way to farm materials. I also believe that once you get into like the 30 range, I want to say legendary. I want to say most people are saying like legendaries and stuff are going to start dropping as well, a decent amount. So you should be able to also farm the legendary materials here. So make sure that you do not complete this. If you do complete this, you won't be able to do this again, so do not do the kindling. Just once you're done, leave game, come back, right? So fairly straightforward. Just kill the elites. You can see here. Look, there's yellow, right? I found a decent chunk of stuff in here, but yeah. So just keep killing the elites. Once you're done with the elites, that's really going to be it. Like I said, reset, do it again, and make sure that there's one guy that's kind of over in the back over to the right that you don't miss the resplendent chest. You shouldn't, because he's required for you to kill, but there is a guaranteed resplendent chest. Yeah, you can see I found a pretty badass weapon and some legs here already, right? Okay, so that's going to be it for the Onyx watchtower. Okay, so once you're done with the Onyx watchtower, you have your gear, you know, and you have all that good stuff. What you're going to do now is you're going to come down to the Temple of Rot. You're gonna do this all the way from like 27 to I think like 47. Heck, you could just this is going to be your best way of getting experience, right? So you just run this over and over again, clear it. You don't necessarily need to do the boss. Just clear it, reset it, do it again, clear it, reset it, do it again. Do not kindle it, and do not kindle the Onyx watchtower either. Okay, because then what you can do is once you get to 45, you can go back to the Onyx watchtower, and then you can utilize the Onyx watchtower to get gear in order to do your capstone dungeon and to do whatever for World Tier 3 and World Tier 4. Okay, obviously after you get to 50, the way to level up is going to be nightmare dungeons, so have fun, do nightmare dungeons. But this is just kind of this is a general guide just to show you what you can do in order to level up and to have a nice little leveling build to go along with that. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.